My name is Ulysses, and with me is,
Marc Lopez.
and together we are
the Geeks
Nerd
of the Multiverse.
Lightning. Ah, God.
Here we go again
Oh
with
my
this
God.
conflicting name bullshit.
I mean, Nerd Lightning just sounds way better. I mean, Geeks of the Multiverse were both from the same universe.
Yeah, but we agreed on this name months ago, and Nerd Lightning is something you came up
Things
with
change.
at
I change.
at 4 in the morning.
Just because I'm running on 2 hours of sleep, homie? It's only 2 hours, dude.
It's not a good name, man. But
I think it's a good name.
We'll hash this out off camera.
Yeah. If you think you'll see a black eye, don't worry. Our first phase will be mainly audio. Maybe eventually we'll transition to video and audio, and then maybe just video. We'll hand sign.
All right, so let's get on with what we were here to talk about today.
Yes, we're here to pitch Moon Knight as a Netflix series.
Yep.
And my number one fan casting is Jake Gyllenhaal, and yours is?
Mine's is Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul.
Well, but let's talk about Moon Knight as a character first.
Yes, let's talk about Moon Knight. Moon Knight, all right, he was like a Marine mercenary, right? Well, former Marine, now mercenary. Then he and a crew of people went to Egypt to like extract something.
Well, they're on like some expedition to like.
Yes.
He's like basically guarding an expedition.
Yeah, and there was like betrayal, and
one of the guys wanted
something.
Yeah, some treasure or whatever.
He was left for dead. And then in front of a statue, bleeding and dying, he lived or was brought back to life. We don't know which is which.
Yeah, it's kind of muddy.
Yeah. He was given powers. Maybe. We don't know which is which.
Not necessarily powers, he just gets brought back to life.
No, I mean like
Moon Knight doesn't have like enhanced strength or reflexes or anything.
No,
like that.
he did when he was first introduced.
His first run has enhanced strength and shit? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Like his powers come from the moon.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know if he has it currently in the books.
No, probably not.
Well, I mean, he kicked the shit out of people. He really kicks the shit out of them.
He beats them up, but it's not.
I'm not saying he's like Spider-Man strong, but
that's what I think when I hear.
Maybe just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit under Captain America.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, but we're talking about the character as he is now, and the current run on Moon Knight is fantastic.
Well, I say we build to that in the Netflix series.
What currently is going on with Moon Knight?
Well, like start him out like as a superhero, like with cape and shit, and maybe he has two personalities, and then maybe slowly you introduce the other one.
I think the personalities have to like immediately be a thing.
You mean before he becomes Moon Knight?
Yeah.
Nah.
I think there should be hints at it before he's even Moon Knight. And I don't even think that the Moon Knight necessarily has to have like it doesn't need to be like we don't need to hear his origin story either.
I think the origin should be brought up in flashbacks.
Yeah, it doesn't have.
It doesn't have to be the intro.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like the show is about. Yeah.
Yeah, every now and then there'll be segments of his past.
Yeah, not necessarily.
We'll start the show in New York already. He's already Moon Knight.
That's what I'm saying. He's already Moon Knight, and he's already got.
He's already the Uber driver Jake.
He's already got multiple.
He's already the billionaire Steve.
Yeah.
He's Mark Spector. He's with Marlene. I don't know that much about Marlene really. I just know that's.
But Marlene seems to be in love with Steven.
I thought she was in love with Mark.
The way it looks is she's in love. Well, she lives in the mansion or whatever that Steven lives in.
Oh, but that's like a dream.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was like another.
Yeah, that's.
Marlene probably doesn't even exist actually.
Probably.
I think she's just a figment of Steven's imagination. It's a personality having a personality with him.
Yeah, but we'll see. And let's just start the show with him already in New York. He's already Moon Knight. The personalities already exist. He's an Uber driver, Jake Lockney. Can't be a taxi driver. I mean, who rides a taxi anymore, right?
I mean, there's taxis in New York, so
yeah, it's a fucking.
That's a thing over there. We live in LA, so we take Ubers. They're not assimilated over there. To not to our style, our lifestyle.
Is it hipster to take taxis?
Is it hip to take taxis? I just think it's what they do. I just think it's what they do.
What a fucking hassle.
I don't even take Ubers.
What? Well, we'll save that for later. So we start with New York. He's already got the personalities established. He's already Moon Knight.
Right.
And who's his number one baddie?
That's another thing. It's like he doesn't really have.
He has that one who he's the guy that betrayed him in Egypt.
Okay, yeah.
And he cut off his fucking face.
He cut that guy's face off.
He cut off his fucking face after he fucking crippled him by falling off a rooftop with him and like fucking like shattered both his knees.
His name isn't Black Spectre though, is it?
No.
Black Spectre was another thing.
Yeah, that was another thing. That was a different dude in a cape. But I forget his name. It's like it starts with like an R or a K, I think.
I'll look it up.
Like Romulus? No, that's a Wolverine villain. No, but yeah, like he should be on the hunt for that guy, and then whatever street crime he finds, you know, because he really doesn't have that many baddies. That's one thing.
No, he should be doing another. He should also be just fighting organized crime, or doing what he does. He protects travelers in the night, so taking down like serial killers, stuff like that.
Yeah. All you wanted to was a fucking Warren Ellis like guy in a white suit and shit.
Yeah, I think that would work.
Yeah, but that's just like
because if you think about Warren Ellis's run, like there's not a consistent story.
Yeah, each issue is
like
one-off.
an episode. It's like an episode.
Yeah, it's a one-off.
And I think that works pretty good for TV.
Yeah, I like that idea, but I feel like you just jump right into the best moments. It's like with The Walking Dead. It's basically caught up with the comic.
Okay, you're right in the sense of like.
I say we save that for like another season.
Okay.
Yeah, but my pitch is basically for like 10 episodes, 8 even. Let's spend the budget on the costume and the fucking CGI helicopter, the moon copter.
I don't think he needs to have a helicopter either. That's what I'm saying. Warren Ellis's version is more practical too.
He has a fucking AI limo.
Yeah, but that's practical. That's something that you could buy. It's not a fucking moon copter that you have to design.
Yeah, but you can just have it like up in the shadows. You can just see him get into it and that's it. You don't have to do like aerial action and shit, you know, fucking Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, no, but that's super cheap too. It's like
it's not that what?
Dude, you have him coming in and out of a CGI helicopter instead of just riding around in a limo.
Dude, you just do a close up of the like sliding door of the helicopter and then you cut back to like a different shot, like where he's like the size of an insect and shit, and you just see that shit take off.
So cheap.
No, well, it can be done.
I know it can be done, but that's so cheap when you could just go practical and get him the fucking limo. AI limo doesn't necessarily have to be AI. He could have Frenchie driving him around.
Well, yeah, Frenchie will be a supporting member. That's another thing.
His supporting cast.
I mean, the only one I can think of is Marlene and Frenchie.
And then there's Gina, the girl that runs the diner that Jake always goes to.
And then there's that old man.
Mr. Crowley, who's a homeless guy, also like an informant.
Maybe we should do something else. Maybe he should see a therapist.
Where it's like, no, I don't think he would ever do that.
He does see a therapist in the books.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
he's not mandated to by anybody.
I'm saying that as
his own free will.
I'm saying that as like him as a character. I don't see him talking to anyone about his problems ever. Like I just see it always like as an internal conflict that he never tries to resolve until maybe later on. But for the first season, it shouldn't even seem like the personalities are even hindering him either. It's like he kind of flows through them.
Well, that's what I'm like what I'm trying to like. The way I picture it is like he goes undercover, but you don't know that. I mean, the hardcore comic fans will know.
Yeah.
But like these are actually
personalities.
Yeah, personas. Yeah. Like these are different people.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like you're saying that he's creating these characters as like a way to
infiltrate.
Yeah, infiltrate and go through like what his day-to-day life.
Yeah.
But in reality, they are his split personalities.
Yeah.
You're right. And
we can introduce that in like the last few episodes of the first season.
I think that's much smarter than him just kind of like flowing through the personalities like I was thinking.
Yeah. Should he even be aware that he has split personality?
I think he and the people around him should know, but I think they should also think of it as like it's like a necessity thing.
Yeah.
And they don't truly know that these people are that much different from who he is, you know?
Yeah.
It's like as Jake, he even wears like a fake mustache
Yeah,
to like differentiate himself from even further from Steven.
Yeah.
And Mark is Moon Knight. Mark is Moon Knight. Mark's not necessarily a personality. He's just like
He's the original.
yeah, he's the one.
The true one. He's the Neo.
He's the Neo.
He's the Neo. He's the Anakin Skywalker. I see through the lies of the Jedi. But yeah, I mean, the only supporting characters I can think of is Marlene, Frenchie, and maybe that one guy from Brian Michael Bendis' Moon Knight run, the 12-issue limited series.
I don't think I ever read that. Oh wait, no, the Spider Wolverine Cap one.
Yeah, he had this guy. He's like an ex-Shield agent, but he's like a tech guy.
Okay, yeah. His
Maybe
name.
we can introduce him.
Okay, what was his name?
I forgot his name, but he had him like look over the Ultron head that he recovered from Count Nefarious' boat or whatever.
Yeah, he could be his tech guy.
Yeah, he can be his tech guy. Frenchie can be his Alfred.
Yeah, Frenchie's the Alfred.
And Marlene can be like the Rachel Dawes.
The love interest.
Yeah.
With like a sort of like a caring, loving nature towards him.
Yeah.
Like a vulnerable side to him. And Gina is just.
But we would really have to think that one through with Marlene, because she would have to be aware of the personalities.
Yeah, but I think it's also one of those things that she just kind of copes with. Like she just goes with it because she knows it's.
Well, like maybe like she thinks they're just like undercover costumes or something, right?
Yeah.
And then like maybe one of them like goes too far, and then he's like, Mark, who the fuck is Mark?
Yeah, and she starts to think, like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, like this guy really thinks he's Steven? There's nobody here.
There's no Steven.
There's no one to put on a show for. Like,
yeah.
Like who the fuck?
There never was a Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just it can be done. Like, forget about like all the tools and gadgets and shit. Like he's basically the Batman of Marvel, but he doesn't need all the tech.
Yeah, he's the Batman of Marvel with the crazy turned up to 10 and like the baggage turned up to 10
and the personalities doubled.
Yeah, the personalities there's 2 times as many.
I mean, because people always argue that there's like 3 personalities to Bruce. There's Batman, and there's Bruce, and then there's like the really vulnerable Bruce.
Which I guess is like the Scott Snyder Bruce. Yeah. I like Scott Snyder's Bruce.
Yeah. But enough about Batman.
Enough about Batman. We're talking about Moon Knight.
Yeah. Moon Knight, I mean, it just really hasn't been done. The closest it's come to is maybe some of the Batman films. Oh, sorry, we brought back Batman. Like Michael Keaton's Batman in Batman Returns. Like, as Bruce Wayne, he's not Batman. He's not like this serious guy. He wants things. He wants to settle down. He wants a life. He wants a girlfriend. He wants to get
Well, let's
laid.
equate it. Let's not even equate it to Batman then. Let's just equate it as a character as dealing with a mental illness. You know, he has a split personality disorder. It's just a man dealing with his mental illness, like dealing with demons. Like it doesn't even have to. You don't even have to equate it to something that already exists. You know, it's just like this is just a man with multiple personalities, kind of like. Who has multiple personalities other than Batman? I'm just I'm trying to like run away from Batman, like Two-Face, but
ventriloquist.
Yeah.
With fucking Scarface
with
puppet.
Scarface.
In Marvel, I don't think there's really that many people. With
multiple he's like he's the only one.
Yeah, as far as I can think of.
Well, technically, every superhero has a split personality because they are different when they are the hero.
It's a persona, but that's just a mask to protect their secret identity.
Yeah.
But these are...
It's like Spider-Man is Spider-Man and he's Peter Parker elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's not like other Marvel characters where it's like Iron Man is Tony Stark at all times. Captain America is Steve Rogers at all times. Steve Rogers is Captain America. Like there is no split.
That's because those white people live in their ivory towers, Mark.
You always can't help yourself.
Well, who's gonna go and fuck with them? Like between the two of them, they both ran S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, Tony Stark and
Steve. Yeah,
Steve.
who's gonna go fuck with them? Nobody.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Like those people are always them. And Moon Knight as a character, he's not always himself.
No, he's not always himself.
He doesn't always get to be who he is, like, and it's a problem for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't always get to be Mark Spector. He doesn't even know who Mark Spector is anymore.
Yeah, and like, I mean, it may not sound like enough to go off of, because I don't like to, like, one of the things I hate about the Netflix shows is that sometimes they drag.
Yeah.
Like, they get, like, forever to get from point A to point B on a certain story beat.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, I mean, the only...
I would have, like, episodes that don't tie into, like, the rest of the show. Like, maybe one night he runs into Werewolf by Night, you know?
Yeah. I'd rather there be,
Maybe-
like a pacing between it. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, maybe there's one where he runs into a vampire and he, like, struggles to kill it or something.
Yeah,
you know?
just some one-off thing to, like, break up the monotony of the way the shows are.
Yeah, like, my idea, like, it's not just to show how, like, strange and weird and complicated his life can be inside his brain, but
To show how strange and weird and complicated his
Marvel
life.
New York is.
Yeah.
Yeah, New York Marvel.
New York itself is. Because that's another thing that comes up in the comics with Moon Knight. It's like, you don't know. It's like, is he crazy? Or is it just the world around him that's so fucking crazy?
Yeah.
It's like, you feel bad for him, but you also, like, you understand that, like, well, I mean, the shit that he deals with day to day is insane.
Yeah.
Like, he lives a crazy lifestyle.
Yeah, at night he's like a fucking billionaire, fucking, like, Hollywood producer.
Yeah, during the day he's like a producer.
After midnight he's like a taxi Uber driver.
Yeah, and then in the wee hours he's Moon Knight.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a crazy life. And obviously, like, you would need someone good, like I said, Jake Gyllenhaal, to, like, perform each role differently.
And I think Jake Gyllenhaal can do it, but I don't think that he would do it. That's the only thing.
Well, it's not up
That's
to...
my only conflict.
Well, you know, Mark, it's not up to me to convince Jake Gyllenhaal. It's up to Marvel.
That's true.
It's up to fucking Netflix to convince him. It's up to Jeff Loeb, head of Marvel TV or whatever development, to convince him. And if not him, they can always get someone lame like Ryan Phillippe or something. Or David Boreanaz.
What's wrong with those guys, man? There's nothing wrong with those guys.
The fact that they're like 40 and shit. But anyway, that's besides the point.
That is besides the point.
I think we have potential for a great TV show here. And
yeah, I think Moon Knight has the potential and can make a lot of money.
And he can tie into some of the other Netflix shows. Like, maybe he could run into, like, Luke Cage one night or something.
I don't even see him being a part of their world. Because I think...
Marvel New York, though.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is I don't see him as a part of their world in the sense that he doesn't care about the things that they care about. Like, they're fighting criminals, and he's just protecting people day to day. He is, like, base street level. And they are, like, street level.
He's like an
extra.
amalgamation. He's like an amalgamation of Punisher's motivations and some of the Netflix heroes, like Daredevil's motivations. Like, he wants to protect people, just like Matt, but he's also willing to put them down, just like Frank.
Yeah, he will kill.
Yeah, if necessary. So, I mean, this is interesting in itself already. I don't know why it hasn't been made a show. Maybe the reason why it hasn't been made into a show is because they actually want the Mooncopter. They want the Mooncopter, but it's just not in the budget.
I think maybe even if this isn't like in development or people are pitching it or talking
I
about
know
it,
James Gunn pitched it and he got denied.
I think the reason being though is it's just too much. Like it's a lot. It's a lot for one person.
No, I mean, look at Legion. Legion did it.
I haven't seen Legion, so I don't have an opinion.
I mean, I fell off after like the first episode. I watched a little bit of the second one because it's confusing as shit.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's
But the reason it's confusing as shit is because it takes place in his mind or in a dream or in a fucking illusion.
Which is similar to what Moon Knight goes through.
It is, but I think it would be easier to follow because it's actually like in one like formatted setting universe, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Like it's never a dream, it's never a dream sequence, it's never a fucking cast illusion, you know? There's no like fucking telepathy at play. There's no telekinesis or whatever. There's no mind reading.
Yeah, it's just him dealing with it.
I mean, the only reason it would be hard is because there's 4 personalities to follow.
Yeah.
Really? I mean, is that too much to ask? That's your supporting cast right there.
Yeah, you could cast 4 different people.
Yeah. Like, are the Olsen twins doing anything?
You cast
Maybe
4
we can CGI.
Well, I mean,
too.
it's like you think about like the Reverse Flash on the Flash. He was technically played by 2 different actors.
Yeah.
He's played by Kavanaugh and some other guy.
Yeah. But I'm like, it can be done. I mean, there's really not that many characters like this except maybe Batman and Punisher.
Yeah, so I think it's fresh enough to where it's like, it's fresh and it's familiar. It's fresh because it's like a brand new take on different things that we've seen before, and it's familiar because he is a lot like Batman. Even though I didn't want to like equate him to Batman, but he is a lot like Batman, and he
is Batman in aesthetically. He's Batman.
Yeah, he's
but
like,
he just doesn't have
like
the villains
inverse.
to warrant the tech that he has.
Yeah, like Batman's.
Like, he goes over the top to get the mission done.
Batman's villains make Batman Batman. Where Moon Knight has all this shit, but he doesn't have, like, a bunch of crazy villains.
It's, like, mainly mercenaries.
Yeah, he's just dealing with, like...
Taskmaster and shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's really not that... Like, he's not going up against, like... Well, he did go up against didn't he go up against Ultron?
No, he goes up against Count Nefaria.
Oh, yeah, but he's like...
That's, like, the big villain that he's gone against. But,
yeah.
And even that guy's not a big name.
Yeah. But, like... I don't see him as part of a team. I always see him by himself. Maybe, like, out of, like, fucking, like... Out of coincidence.
Yeah.
Like, he would, like, team up with somebody because they're like, okay, you're after Blade, I'm after Blade, you know?
Whatever. Yeah, like, we need to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he would ever seek out help or try to be on the Defenders team.
Yeah. I mean, well, hey, stranger things have happened, you know. He has been made an Avenger.
Yeah, he's a C-list Avenger.
West Coast? Hey, Justice League Detroit, where you at?
West Coast, where it's at.
Anyway, Jake, we need you on this. Quick. Jake, get on it. Anyway, and
so I guess that'll cover it. We definitely brought up some good points.
Yeah. And what's the next video we'll talk about?
Next time we're going to be talking about Hawkeye. Matt Fraction's Hawkeye as an animated series.
Okay. So next time we'll be talking about Matt Fraction's Hawkeye as an animated short. Well, not short.
Just a series of shows.
Yeah.
This is kind of just like a new thing for us. We're kind of trying to like pitch things that are in our heads just to get these ideas out.
Yeah, and we'll be comparing it to other things, and maybe there'll be political narratives. Just kidding.
Hopefully we try not to get too
political.
Yeah, too political.
Anyway, so until next time, I'm Ulysses.
And I'm Mark.
All right, and Nerd Lightning.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Yeah, you too.